We've got a video camera to look at today, and this time it's not a tube camera. It's a MOS color video camera. It's Hitachi VK-C1600E, and look how small and light it is compared to the other cameras we were looking at. And again, it's still, as with many of the cameras we've looked at, it's just a video camera. It has no power source or storage device on it. Instead, it connects to a portable VCR or regular VCR using a camera cable. We connect this onto there, and it's a little bit frayed, I think, and then it goes to a 10-pin camera plug, and that then connects into your portable VCR or other adapter like the one that we looked at in the previous video. This portable video cassette recorder, which probably goes with the camera, maybe. This one's exciting because it's got a monitor built into it. Not something you see every day, but it's also really heavy and quite large. And on the side there, you see it's got the 10-pin camera connector. So we can try this out. We looked at it last time, but this is a new video, so we've got to do it all over again. Let's just get this out of the way for now. So this video camera, it's got a lens, has autofocus, so it's pretty advanced, auto white balance with that sensor there. It's got a microphone. Wow, that's a little bit worse for wear, but there is a microphone. It's missing some sort of front plate thing that would have gone on that, probably with an IR blocking, or a light blocking IR transmitting filter in front of it, perhaps. That stuff there is to do with the autofocus. It probably moves slightly. Looks like that's the autofocus motor right there. Anyway, it's got manual, a focus control, manual, push it. Oh, so it stays manual and you lock it into autofocus? Not really sure what the point of that is. Right, there's an external microphone input on the side. There's a white balance adjuster, which is just like an analog control between indoor warm colored light to outdoors cold colored light. And there's an iris open and close adjustment. They're not that easy to turn. You got to push your finger on it because you can't, there's nothing to grab there. It's got a review button, a standby operate button, manual auto control for the white balance, so it's on manual at the moment, mono stereo selector, presumably for that microphone connector, and then it's got a remote. Oh yeah, look at that. Ooh, it's quite sticky in there. Some kind of residue. It's a 4-pin connector for a remote of some sort. Now, interestingly, there is feet there, like it's meant to sit that way, but the viewfinder's in the way. I don't know, it's a bit weird. So it's quite a small CRT viewfinder. There's a contrast and brightness trimmer there. I don't think that comes off or turns or anything. Electronic viewfinder. Alright, over here it says avoid directing eye cap lens towards the sun or it may burn key parts inside the cavity. Yeah, in this cavity here, you see it's already had a go at it. There's some dots down there where they've been burnt by the sun shining in through this lens here. So that's great. There's VTR start stop, the record button, and then there's the connector that goes to the VCR. And there's also the record polarity switch there, which you select depending on how your VCR likes to get its record signal. Now this connector here, it's kind of bent over, and I think it's It's dodgy. I wonder if we can get that open. It's a very stripped looking screw, but I think it's because it's a Torx style one, perhaps. It is. I wonder if that's original. Very unusual to see a Torx style screw, and also surprising that I happen to have the right bit loaded. Weird. So you can see the cable has peeled itself or pulled itself back from the clamp there, so that's why it's a bit twisty feeling. So yeah, the insulation part's receded. This is quite a thin cable. Most of the camera cables are thicker than this. I don't know if that means it's good quality or not. We'll just leave that apart because I think it's dodgy and that we should have a look. So that screw went into that thing there, the bit that the cord clamp's attached to. At least this one hasn't gone as sticky as a lot of the other camera cables have. Alright, we're going to plug it into the VCR. We'll just put that over here because we don't really need to see it in this operation. And then the VCR will power the camera and let us get the video output signal from it. So we'll give this a test. Pop on that. And that comes up right away. And in this we can, oh no, yeah, something, not sure exactly where the dodginess is. So yeah, the lens here, so autofocus or manual focus, autofocus with that, turning it by a motor, manual focus, turn it by yourself. Ah, I see. So it's autofocus when you push it, and it says push to lock like that. So it means it's actually it's not a switch, it's a momentary push button that when you slide that over, it pushes the button permanently so the autofocus stays active. Alright, and then the power zoom here. Quite noisy. And then by pushing in that green thing you can activate the macro for close-ups, which works. And you can see the exciting thing that happened today. For some reason the monitors decided that half the backlight doesn't exist anymore. That's very frustrating. I just noticed it was all gone dark down that side and then it was flickering for a while. So that's quite annoying. It's like half of the backlight is just gone away. Not good. Anyway, yeah, the camera works. It's a presumably CMOS image sensor, not a CCD sensor, because it says MOS there, not CCD. So it's a CMOS sensor. Ah, look. Caution, to prevent electric shock, do not remove case. No user serviceable parts inside. Pilot lamps soldered in place. Refer servicing to qualified service personnel. Do not expose to extreme heat. It says pilot lamps soldered in place. So that means you can't replace any of the lamps. The pilot lamps on this? I don't think it has any pilot lamps on it. I think maybe in there? Oh yeah, like the low light indicator. Alright, for some reason the VCR's now decided that it doesn't latch on anymore. That power button there, not sure what its problem is. Why has it gone like that? Oh, there we go. What? Is it something related to this? The white balance control, that works successfully. Pretty good. The iris control, close. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Open. Hey, there's a bit of headroom there. Maybe? No. And there you go, auto white balance. Should be all good. keeps it a little bit colder. And if we put that standby, oh yeah, goes into standby. And operate. Great. It's got a bit of vignetting on the screen. You can see there in the corner it goes dark. Maybe there's a lens issue. Let's take it apart and see what good things are inside it. Don't think I've ever looked inside this camera before. Can't remember. Anyway, let's look inside it now. Screwdrivers and things are all still slippery from all that silicone grease from the soft eject from that VCR we looked at last time, that portable VCR. Maybe it's time, since we're here right now and thinking about it, to just wipe that stuff down a bit. Just to get rid of that. Okay, that's good. Now maybe with this, like a serial number plate, like pressed in plate, that might be something that we don't want to undo. Oh, those holes seem to have some kind of covering over them. That's pretty weird. Now I'm wondering, those rubbery things are probably screw holes, aren't they? No? Oh, weird. Yeah, look at that. So the viewfinder lifts up. Well, the viewfinder slides off, and then there's a cable there to unplug. There's a 6-way cable. Wire, plug, connector. Very early CMOS image sensor camera. Before they were common. I wonder if this was some premium model that was extra expensive. All sorts of different types and lengths of screw. Not very encouraging, is it? What's holding it together? Nothing's holding it together, it's just falling aparty. Oh, okay, so we do need to undo that. Because yeah, that's the one I thought that a metal bracket would just sort of fall inside the unit. And it sort of does. Where did that go? We should put it back on the other side just to sort of remember it, I guess. Oh, look at that. All the electronics are in the handle part. Guess we'll unplug that. Like flat flex ribbon cable, which is soldered onto the board on the other side. Oh, that's that weird little remote connector, that 4-pin thing, and then the microphone connector has its own little board there with another flat flex ribbon holding it down to there. Interesting that they've soldered a little strip of wire across the edge of the flat flex where it's soldered down to act as a strain relief. So it's just connectors there. Now this part, yeah, you can see how this succeeded in the power zoom and focus still work because there's no belts involved in this. Instead it's got geared motor, and then that directly drives through a gear or cog onto the lens, and then there's a sort of clutch, stiff slippy clutch thing in there so that when you're turning it manually it doesn't crank the motor as well, instead of it slipping a belt to do that function, which I don't know if they do that. I don't think so. There's a small screw there to expose the autofocus parts up the top. Oh yeah, that sliding button thing for a switch is like a whole assembly with like a whole unit there with a little button soldered in there. See if we can get these boards out so we can have a play with them. You can see interesting stuff in there. Oh, they just pull out, okay. It's going to undo those screws there, which is holding a metal plate, which is holding a board, but that's just for the zoom control. You can just unplug these. But they use color-coded connectors, blue, grey, white, heaps of ways, and the other ones don't have heaps of ways. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. All the electronics, all of the electronics, just on these couple of boards here. So there's a base board. Oh no, that positive negative polarity switch has been bent over. So someone's had a go at that. But the interesting thing here is that that layer, that green PCB that you can see is actually flex. See that? It joins across there, two different angles. So it's a flex board, through-hole plating, so it's a double-sided flex, and then it's got stiffeners like fused onto it there and there, and those don't have tracks on them, so it's double-sided in the flex by the look of it. And then that makes a little like backplane thing, yeah, like that. Well, I assume it's double-sided. Yeah, it is double-sided because there's only one track going across that side, whereas on that side there's a whole row of tracks. Oh, that's neat. Then we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's ready. Oh, it's all being sort of glued down weirdly. Let's have a look. So there's a shielded in part here, which I don't know if that opens up. It's presumably a power supply thing, or no, maybe it's for sensitive electronics, because it comes out the back where the image sensor is, so yeah, it must be part of the image sensor. Little hybrid module things there, and some O-key chip, M6219. Nice little metal cover. Oh, nice until you try and put it back on. Oh, that's not very good, is it? So it has a return there to hook into that. It's bent now because I pried it out. It's just aluminum, so it's really soft. Okay, so that's great. So there's some other ICs on there, some metal can transistors or FETs there, presumably for that, which is the white balance sensor. It's a double-sided board with a very dark green solder mask on the bottom there. Fine pitch TQFP. Oh yeah, that's under that can. HD44040. And there's a couple of op-ampy looking things down there. And there's a whole bunch of glue stuck on there. Not sure what that's all about. Guess it's glue. Shield. And then there's this board, which again, the IC is on the bottom. And some surface mount components. Yeah, that has surface mount resistors and capacitors on there too. And then on this side, look at all that exciting stuff. It's got hybrid module thing on top of other module looking things. I think more modules with like ceramic plate with parts soldered onto it, vertical mounted, horizontal mounted, a whole bunch more vertical ones. There's quite a bit of circuitry there, all modularized, and these brown ones as well. Trimmer there up on its own little subboard, trimmers there in their own sort of modular packaging, and then that neat little backplane thing. Oh yeah, there's a gap in that stiffener where the polarity, record polarity switch has been attached, and there's a piece of like clear plastic insulator sheet there, which is where people will be poking their tools in through that little slot in the bottom so that it doesn't get ruined, so it don't scratch into the circuit board surface. Okay, let's see if we can get this back in. Yeah, that went on fairly well without incident. Okay, just wondering, should we cut that cable tie off so we can free this up a bit more? don't know, these ones are also called zip ties, even though it's made of like a little lumpy chain thing that gets dragged through that. Zip tie, cable tie, something like that. Got there. 3 wires go to that zoom motor. Must have grounding on the outside, I guess. It's all kind of sealed in with tape and things. And iris motor there, or servo thing. And that's got 4 wires. 4 wires goes to there. And then focus stuff. It's got those 3 wires and 1 shielded wire going up there. And it's otherwise all self-contained. Although the part of that is the zoom control, because the motor for the zoom plugs in up there as well. It probably just, don't know, might just wire straight across and come from the zoom control blue wire onto that. Might be a motor driver there. Let's call that MOPWB, probably motherboard. That's the wire coming from the focus sensor. Something quite sensitive. Don't know if we can take this off without ruining everything. It's looking like it's becoming ruined. More different screw types. Yeah, I don't think that can be undone easily. It's a Mitsubishi chip there. There's something in a little box. And then there's another chip over the other side. LAG635. Yeah, they must be shielded motors. Or are they dual coil motors so that you could just join a center to positive and then you just ground either side with a like transistor to control the direction? That might be what's happening. Would make things a bit easier. Yeah, so there's a emitter there, that lens, and then there's a receiver there in that, which the angle of it changes there. See that as the focus position has changed? So it's looking for reflections, I think, coming through a very fine slit, and then it will adjust this until the beam is strongest. I guess that's probably what's going on. There are end switches there, so it knows it's reached end of travel, and in the other direction there. So that's pretty good. I wonder if we can see the image sensor. Is that something we're allowed to look at? Okay, that doesn't seem to be too ruined yet. Now, seems to be quite a bit. Cables twisted around each other. Wow, that goes all the way down there. Not sure how many I need to leave connected so that we can remember how to put this thing back together without accidentally putting things in the wrong place and burning it out. Okay, presumably this cover could come off now. Okay, let's see. Does this take things off? Or is this just going to ruin everything? I think it does something. Don't think they want you taking this off though. It feels like that it's being thread locked. Oh, it actually sheared off the screw. Yeah, because I could feel the screw there turning and then stopped turning. Oh, that's unfortunate. So now we've kind of loosened this thing and we don't have any way of tightening it. So that's wonderful. We might have ruined the camera. Maybe, although these 2 screws are probably still functioning. This has probably got springs in it, and it's to do with adjusting the position of the sensor, and we've now ruined that. Oh well. Well, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't get to see it. And we're here to see it. Yeah, maybe this one is donated to the cause rather than ready for restoring. Yeah, so these would have been loose screws, but they put a lot of thread locker on them so they stay in position. That is very unfortunate that one's sheared off, because the other ones are much easier to turn. Now, Oh, look at that. Yeah, there is the image sensor. Look at that, it just looks like the current style. And yeah, there's the IR filter. It's surprisingly good condition still, although now it's got some crud on it. Another Hitachi chip there, HD4053. Yeah, I wonder what we can do about that. Kind of nothing, because it's sort of too bad, isn't it? I don't have tools that can grab that. And it was stuck enough to shear the screw off, so some basic pliers touching it isn't going to help much. Don't know if we should leave that spring in there or not. We put it back in and pretend nothing happened? Guess I don't know what else we're going to do with it. Great! Interesting thing. Don't even know how to get these screws started again. And there we go, that one's going. So yeah, so this will be back focus, but also the tilt of the sensor. Not really sure, why would it need a tilt adjustment? Is it possible that the optics can be off kilter? Out of kilter? Helter skelter? Yeah, we just need to shove something in there and then it will hold itself together by that mushy pad thing. That's way too thick. That's a thermal transferometer. About these shorter ones. Okay, yeah, that's probably good enough. Like I bought one. It's really going to cause this little case to pop open again, isn't it? If we can even get it to shut in the first place. Ah, there's a hole there because it's adjustable. Silly. Now we've torn that. Alright, well it's holding it down to a degree, so that's kind of where we're sitting with this thing right now. Yeah, I guess there's a whole adjustment procedure for getting that all lined up. Okay. Wonderful piece of equipment. Now only slightly ruined. Right, let's quickly put it back together before somebody notices. Now, what do we have to do for this? There's a special cover thing. So there's actually, this is MOS, CMOS, presumably video camera. I've also got a national brand one that's, I think it's a CCD, and so perhaps we'll have a look at that one next time. Well, maybe not next time, because we've got another Hitachi camera to go through, to look at. I think it's a JVC one. Maybe that should be next, since that will be on brand for what we're doing at the moment. Does it go there? Yeah, there's a little plastic post that's broken off. And this might have been bashed a bit, which might explain why that front lid is missing. Maybe somebody's had a go at it already. Someone got there before us, pre-ruined it. Okay, now that should, in theory, slide in there. Theoretically. That's the viewfinder cable, so that can just stay there. Well, it's got some little clippy thing there. Maybe that's why they had cable ties holding everything, so that this stuff didn't get in the way and it was possible to reassemble. Is it in? No, it's not. There we go. I think that's in the thing. Appears to be. Oh no, look at that, it's ripped itself open again, so yeah, that board's not going to hold itself in by whatever the stuff was that's supposed to be holding it. These things that got yoinked out of the way. Okay, so that went there, I guess. There, like that. Just kind of went there, didn't it? But all this business had to go in around where the lens is. It seems to do that okay. And this, oh look, there is some details about what the different trimmers do. Oh, it's just the designators of them. Setup, white balance, iris, something or other, or under iris. Setup RBGY, BST, HT, color level. Oh well, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, it looks like that also just can sort of sit in there and be removed, maybe without taking the whole rest of the thing apart. Maybe? On a good day perhaps? I guess that's that screw. Yeah, that does seem right, doesn't it? And then that one there will hold that in. Okay, and that really long one went in there. Yeah, and those things on the bottom had no screws for some reason. So there's two kind of long ones left. Oh yeah, that held the viewfinder on. That's the other one from there. And that's the other two from the bottom. Oh no! No, we're supposed to put this cable back in before we did that stuff up. I was trying to do it all quickly so that it wouldn't make a mess everywhere. So that thing didn't fall out. Alright, we've got to open this up again. And then get the flex connector thing open, unlatched, get that in there, and then quickly latch it up before anything else happens. And then pretend that that's gone in the right place and connected up. Oh yeah, look at that. Clicks into place. Oh, wonderful. Okay, that seems to be packed together. Let's finish off with a little look inside the viewfinder then. Oh. Okay. That orange line, yeah, the actual like aluminum strip that's now bent that goes in there. That's pretty nice. It's not like printed on plastic. It says to remove residual high voltage arc anode lead to picture tube ground. So it's the procedure that we looked at last time on that CRT. Picture tube replacement, it's a C1M40P45. Serviceman warning, X radiation precaution to reduce the risk of possible exposure to X radiation. Take X-ray radiation protective measures. See service manual. For the serviceman during servicing, nominal high voltage is 2.8 kV for a very dim picture and must not exceed 6 kV at zero beam current. To measure the HV, use a high impedance HV meter, connect minus to picture tube ground and plus to CRT anode button. Is this a big enough CRT to have that? That seems like a generic warning that wouldn't apply to this one, because this one doesn't have an anode button. And it's got all again in a different language. French, I guess. Yeah, the anode is there because this one doesn't have an anode button on the side. So there's the CRT, little tiny tube. It's got some LEDs there for V, L for probably low light, and B for B. Deflection coils there. It connects from that and that, those wires. And then at the end of the tube, high voltage, and then we focus, grids, and heater. And then there's a little flyback transformer there. Drive it up to, does it say, was it 6 kV max? Absolute maximum. And it's again, as often as in these things, a one chip solution using that little sill style chip there, which has splayed out legs. And it's a nice through-hole plated board. So it's got focus there, horizontal hold, vertical size, brightness, contrast, and that's it. There must be a 7809 regulator there, because it says there 12 volts on that side, 9 volts on that side. So it looks like it's a 12 volt supply and a couple of other things. Oh, it will be the signals to drive 3 LEDs. So it's six wires. So it's got 3 LEDs. So it leaves 3 more wires. That's ground, power, and video. So a pretty simple arrangement. So it's 12 volts, ground, 3 LED connections, and video. If you want to get it running by itself for some reason, there's a little mini monitor. Yeah, it's pretty neat how that orange line created by an actual metal part, not just a cheap printed on mark. Okay, I guess as the final hurrah, we'll just test this out again, see how ruined it now is. Possibly quite ruined, since we messed up that screw that holds the CMOS sensor in place, or in alignment. Alright, so let's just give this a go. Alright, let's go fire in the hole. Oh, look at that. Not that ruined after all. Well, that's good, isn't it? Is it zoomed outer than it was before? Not sure. Yeah, we probably did ruin the focus of it, but otherwise still functioning, so wonderful little thing. There you go, there's a teardown of the Hitachi VK-C1600E CMOS color video camera. Hopefully that was interesting, and next time we'll take a look in some other thing. Probably another video camera. If not, it's going to be a VCR, because we've still got plenty of those things to get through. Just put this back to and pretend that it was fine. Mush that back on. Is that broken? Not really sure what the sides are. There you go. It's got its own little bit that it clicks into place. Great, see you then.